You know that feeling when someone digs up a secret you thought was buried? Not your secret, everyone's, all at once. And suddenly the thing you thought you'd forgiven, you realize you'd only forgotten. In 2062, in a town outside St. Louis, there's a stadium where nobody competes anymore. The scoreboard's been dark for 30 years. But someone turned the old press box into a library. And the librarian there, Connie Alvarez, just made a discovery she wishes she hadn't. She'd found it in a donated box of old books, a USB drive. Nobody under 40 even recognized the port, but Connie did. She'd grown up in the old world, back when people still earned salaries, back when what you made defined what you were worth. Scratched into the side, payroll 2029. Someone had saved every salary from the last year the old factory paid wages, before the robots arrived, before the foundation made money as quaint as a telegraph. Every name, every number, who earned what, down to the cent. See, by 2062, nobody pays for anything. The three engines, AI that thinks, robots that build, fusion energy that powers it all, turn the basics of life into something like tap water. Always on, no bill. People finish a few years of civic service in their 20s, learning how civilization's infrastructure actually works. And after that, they're free. Free to rest, free to create, free to choose. The stadium below Connie's library used to host football. Now it hosts a community garden in the old field and a children's theater under the bleachers. 90% of life is handled. That's the foundation. The other 10%? That's where people push themselves because they want to, earning recognition through what they give, not what they take. Then, Ray Watkins showed up at her door, 72 years old, used to run the factory floor, back when the factory still needed people. He'd heard about the USB drive. Word travels fast in a small town, and he had one question. Are you going to publish it? Connie wanted to. She was a librarian. Her whole life was about preserving what people tried to throw away. But Ray's voice cracked when he said, "That file shows I made 4 times what the women on my line earned for the same work, and I knew it. I knew it, and I kept my mouth shut for 11 years. He paused. Publishing that doesn't teach anyone anything. It just gives them someone to hate. Connie sat with that all night. Because here's the thing about forgiveness. Real forgiveness. The kind that actually heals. It doesn't erase the record. It reads the record. And then it decides what to build next. The fear isn't that we'll forgive the past. The fear is that forgiving means we'll stop remembering why it hurt. So Connie made her choice. She didn't publish the salaries, and she didn't destroy them. She built something else instead, an exhibit right there in the stadium library, the numbers on one wall, and on the facing wall, the names of every person on that payroll, beside what they did after the old world ended. Who they became when survival stopped being the game. Ray Watkins came to see it on opening day. His salary was there, 4 times what Linda Chen made beside him on the line. But next to it, the exhibit showed what he'd done since. 23 years mentoring kids in the stadium garden, teaching them to grow things with their hands. And Linda Chen? She'd designed the children's theater under the bleachers. The numbers told one story. The lives told another. Ray stood there for a long time. Then he said something Connie didn't expect. He said, "I don't need anyone to forgive me. I need them to see that I understood what I did and that I spent 30 years trying to become someone who wouldn't have done it." Does forgiveness require understanding? Maybe not. Maybe forgiveness is just the decision to stop letting the wound run the show. But understanding, really seeing what someone carried and what they chose to do with it, that's something richer than forgiveness. That's how a community remembers without being imprisoned by what it remembers. Connie kept the USB drive in a glass case in the library. Nobody can read it anymore. The port is extinct. But everyone knows what's on it. That's the point. The record exists. The wound is acknowledged. And the stadium keeps growing wildflowers where the 50-yard line used to be. That's a world Connie helped build, not by erasing the past, but by giving it a place to sit where it couldn't do more damage. If her story sounds impossible, the math says otherwise. The AI at Unscarcity.ai has read the whole book. Ask it anything. And if you want the full blueprint, the economics, the ethics, all of it, the book is at Unscarcity.ai or on Amazon. The future doesn't forget. It just learns what to do with what it remembers.